श्री इस्कॉन के प्रतिष्ठाता ओम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर सहस्र भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी महाराज जी का आविर्भाव सब त्रिभाव ही क्या है? अच्छा त्रिभाव होता है ना, मैं त्रिभाव है। अभी उनके सब आश्रित का वो दीदी नहीं है आज, क्या वो क्या नाम है उनका, लंबी वाली दीदी, और दूसरी वाली वो सावित्री है, तो नाम भूल जाता हूँ, चक्कर क्या है? बोलो क्या नाम है? अरे
कौन प्रभु जी? महाराज कह रहे मैं गोपीनाथ भवन जाना है,
जाओ उसे 10 घंटा हो जाता है, पर माजा वही जाइए बोले डिमांड अपनी। तो जो आज तिथि है जो महानुभाव की, इनका जीवन चरित्र भी अलौकिक है। अचिंत्य अचिंत, चिंता भी नहीं कर सकते, चिंता करने सोचे संभव ही नहीं, सोच भी नहीं सकते हैं। जो कार्य इनके द्वारा हुआ है, जिस अवस्था में व्यक्ति बिस्तर पकड़ लेता है, उस अवस्था में 70 की अवस्था में हाँप जाता है सीढ़ी चढ़ते हुए, उस अवस्था में विदेश, और कौन से विदेश का स्थान है, बिल्कुल विपरीत। कल हॉलैंड से आया था ना, गोकुलानंद बता रहा था, मुझे प्रभु जी क्या भजन करें, क्या होगा बताओ, कैसे मन को संभालें, बिल्कुल अपोजिट। ऐसे देश में जाकर प्रचार करना, वो भी किसी की सहायता नहीं, बिना किसी सहायता के, न कोई, जैसे पहले भी कई लोग गए विदेशों में, विवेकानंद जी भी गए, कई गए, परंतु वो एक आधार लेकर गए थे उधर, है ना, न इनके पास कोई धन, न कोई अप्रोच, कुछ नहीं है। वो भी जल जहाज से गए, खाने का भी कहाँ खाएंगे, कहाँ रहेंगे, ये भी ठीक नहीं था। सोचो हम कहीं जाते पहले व्यवस्था करते खाने की, हाँ जी हम आ रहे हैं, कमरा रखना खाने की। विदेश जाओ जहां पर सब मांस मदिरा ही है उस वहां जाकर के तात्पर्य यही है, जो गए इसमें क्या चीज छिपा हुआ है, रक्षिष्यति इति विश्वास। ये जब गुरु जी, क्योंकि इनको स्वप्न में आदेश किसने दिया था, पूर्वज ने आदेश दिया था, इसे कहते हैं गुरु निष्ठा। गुरु जी ने जब आदेश दे दिया तो फिर अवश्य ही व्यवस्था भी करेंगे। वो गुरु भी ऐसा होना चाहिए। रामानुज अपने शिष्य ने कहा, जाओ जाकर के मेरी शिष्या है तो घर चले जाओ, नौकरी करना, बल्कि बताना नहीं। वो बेचारा वहां गालियां खा रहा है, लांछन सह रहा है। गुरु भी ऐसा होना चाहिए। अब मेरे से गुरु बोल जाए कि घर में जाके काम कर, वो शादी करके बैठ जाएगा नौकरानी से, ऐसा हो जाएगा, भाई बीत मिल जाएगी। तो जितना दृढ़ विश्वास है, दृढ़ विश्वास कहते हैं क्या, रक्षिष्यति विश्वासो गोप्तत्वे मरणम यथा। जल जहाज से 2 बार हार्ट अटैक हुआ, और वहां जाके विपरीत परिस्थितियों में प्रचार करना। हम जाते हैं लोगों को, लोग हम आदर से ले जाते हैं, बुलाते हैं, कथा सुनते हैं, प्रचार करना लोगों, फिर कीर्तन करना, लोगों को बुलाना, खिलाना उनको, वो खा पी के प्लेट छोड़ के चले जाना, उनके प्लेट धोना, उनके बर्तन धोना, कल्पना कर सकते हैं क्या हम लोग? हम बोल तो देते हैं, जिन्होंने भोग ये किया होगा, कितना परिश्रम उस 70 साल की उम्र में, रसोई बनाओ, खिलाओ, उनके बर्तन धो, कथा भी करो, कीर्तन भी करो, अकेला। अगले मृदंग बजाते थे, मृदंग बिठाया, अकेला बंदा। तो कल्पना कर सकते हैं? नहीं। तो इसलिए सिद्ध हो जाता है, जितने भी महापुरुष हैं, प्रभुपाद जी, स्पेशली प्रभुपाद जी गण, ये कोई सामान्य नहीं है। ये सामान्य व्यक्ति का सामर्थ्य हो ही नहीं सकता इतना, जो कल श्रवण किया, श्रवण कर रहे, जो इनके गुण लक्षण दिख रहे हैं, लक्षणेन परिचयते, लक्षण से ही वस्तु का परिचय मिलता है। जो लक्षण है, ये सब लक्षण वैकुंठीय लक्षण है, असाधारण, ये सामर्थ्य सामान्य नहीं, क्योंकि भगवान के परिकर ऐसे कर सकते हैं, असंभव को असंभव कर दे। वहां प्रचार किया, और ऐसे प्रचार किया तो पूरे विदेश में, पूरे विश्व में ऐसा कोई देश नहीं है जहां पर इसको उनका कोई सेंटर नहीं हो, सर्वत्र महामंत्र के बिल्कुल। वहां के लोगों अपने कैसे ढाल दिया, साड़ी पहन, और तो साड़ी पहनाना, साड़ी पहनना है, पुरुष धोती पहनना, तिलक करना, औरतें महिलाएं साड़ियां पहनती। देखो यहाँ की नहीं पहनती साड़ियां, वहां साड़ी पहनती, दिखता नहीं, इस दिन आता है। तो आज ऐसे महापुरुष तिथि, अभी कृष्णदास जी हैं, बोलेंगे, फिर महाराजा आने वाले 2 घंटा बोलेंगे, फिर वो बैठी हुई है, क्या नाम उनका, सावित्री दीदी बैठी हुई है, तो कौन बोलेगा? सावित्री दीदी आइए, यू स्टार्ट। ओनली 4 मिनट, 14 हो जाएगा ना, 4 से 14।
चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वञ्चाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। First of all, offer my obeisances to my Gurudev Nityalyopa Vishnupada Sutta Srimad Bhaktivinoda Goswami Maharaj. In the same way, offer my obeisances to my Shiksha Gurus Nityalyopa Vishnupada Sutta Srimad Bhaktivinoda Vama Goswami Maharaj, Nityalyopa Vishnupada Sutta Srimad Bhaktivinoda Trikam Goswami Maharaj. I offer my obeisances to Bhaktivinoda Swami Goswami Maharaj, whose disappearance it is today, and all the Guru Varga, Vaishnavas and Vaishnavas. So, it's amazing how one person can change so many people. In fact, practically the whole Western world. And not only the Western, but also some parts of the Eastern world. Because Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Goswami Maharaj, whose disappearance it is today, he, on the order of his Gurudev Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, he went to the Western world. Why? Because when he met Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Srila Prabhupada, at that time Srila Prabhupada expressed the wish that he wanted also that the Krishna consciousness movement should be the Krishna consciousness movement should be also known and propagated in the Western world. So he found although many others had gone before, Ban Maharaj and Goswami Maharaj like this, but they only went to the top level, like the aristocratic families. So it was in some way, it is interesting that they went there, but they could not reach all the normal public. And this is what Prabhupada wanted, because Krishna consciousness is for everybody, not only for top or not only for bottom. So for that reason, in 1965, although he was old in age, and although it was a long time ago that he got the order of Srila Prabhupada to go to the West and to preach in the English language. So in 1965, he boarded the Jaladut and went to the West. So at that time, when he arrived there, in fact, there was practically nobody to welcome him. He was standing there alone. And in the meantime, he sold some books so that he could get some money for traveling. And he stayed one night in one person's house. And after that, they put him in a hospital. Like, it is like a dharmashala, but everybody could stay there, like mostly it were meat eaters. And everything was mixed. So if he wanted to cook, he had to cook in a kitchen where also meat was being cooked, and also in the fridge there was meat and all these things. So in such a situation he came. So although he said like I don't know why Krishna put me in this ghastly world, in this part, what to do, but he will have his plans. So he had full faith in Krishna that he will manifest something. And he manifested because after a whole journey of struggling, and he went to the Thompson Square Garden, and there under a big tree he started chanting the Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, and that attracted so many people. And it were all the people which he attracted were like hippies. Hippies means they were doing everything, like singing, dancing with, and drinking wine and all these things. They were very low class. But somehow or another by his power, he attracted them. And a major part of these persons, they stayed with him. And gradually the movement started to grow and grow and grow. So slowly, with the help of these young boys and girls, he was already translating so many books, and so many books were sold. It was he did in fact a tremendous job, a great revolution, which is unsurpassed. It was because to attract people into Krishna consciousness is very difficult. But he did it. And he did it with the Hare Krishna mantra. And that was his main singing. And he was just in a simple way. He was speaking and giving Harikatha the teachings. He had to learn them everything. These boys and girls, they had to learn from scratch. Because they were not interested, they didn't know anything about the Krishna consciousness, how to behave, what to say, So in this way, he was like a very patient father, who taught them, how to dress, how to cook, be vegetarian, wash yourself, cut your nails. For that reason now also, because they had long hair, so he said everybody should shave nicely and clean and short hair. Because all this long hair, that is not favorable also for bhakti. So that's why here also once a month, when it's Purnima, you have to shave. Because in the tattva is that in the hair, the anarthas are there. So for that reason, shaving should be done. So he established this thing is that everybody has to have short hair, nicely cut nails and all these things. And he learned them all to dress. Also the ladies, he learned how to put on saris, all these things. So in this way, his movement started slowly. He created, it was immense. Slowly, but in such a way, it began slowly. He had somebody found one shop. It was called a matchless gift. Means that is very significant, matchless gift. Yeah. Because he brought a matchless gift. It is unparalleled. So from there, at that point he started, and it grew all over the world. He sent all these boys and girls all over, even to Hong Kong, whatever, where they could go, they would go. Even in Iran they went. And Iran is a Muslim country. So there a few devotees came also from Iran. So his preaching was magnificent, and not only that, but his translations of the books. Like Bhagavad Gita as it is, Srimad Bhagavatam, all these 10 volumes, with the commentaries. If you read the commentaries, it is mind-blowing, it's very beautiful. So much knowledge is in there that it is like in a simple way, and although in a simple way, but still to the point. and correct. So I learned when I read Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam with his commentary, you learn a lot. This is very, very beautiful. And we can all, even now you can buy the Bhagavad Gita and just read it and read the commentary because it's important. Because when you read sloks and just the translation of the sloks, you don't know anything. But when you read the commentaries, then knowledge comes. So when he was there in the Western country, he traveled a lot because he was already old. Even though he was old, and still he was very bold. If people try to, in the Western countries, in the media, they didn't know what was happening to them because they could not catch him in such a way or cornering him. He had like, if you ask him any question, he will give you answer, and very boldly. And he will not like lie or say half words, nothing like this. He was bold and to the point. Yeah. So, you can see also, when Gurudev was here, so many devotees, they came from Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj. And later they put a ban on Gurudev, but many, many devotees of Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, they came because of Swami Maharaj's wish that he should help them. It was also the wish of Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj that Srila Gurudev should put him in Samadhi, and also in the same time teach them how to use the mantras and all these things for the Samadhi. So Gurudev put Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj by his wish in the Samadhi, and because he found him very qualified. Yeah. So in this way, when I was in Holland, I met Prabhupada's devotees somehow. I don't know, by some mercy. And in this way I came to this line, because otherwise how are you going to come in such a Western world in such a line? It was only due to book distribution. When they're doing book distribution, you meet people, and this way I met the books I saw of Srila Prabhupada, and I met also Srila Prabhupada devotees. So they were really like, Hare Krishna Maharaj. Oh, okay. So they were really like, very bold, like Padmanabha Maharaj and all, they're also like very, very boldly preaching. On behalf of Srila Prabhupada. And for that reason also, many people came into Krishna consciousness, and Prabhupada was very happy with this. So I think Padmanabha Maharaj is coming, so he wants to speak. That's it. Yeah. So, I feel shy. Yeah. So, eventually, I think we should make him speak, because otherwise it's, yeah. One thing what I understood when I came into Krishna consciousness at this Prabhupada's devotee, they are very bold. They are also don't make any compromises. And this is the beauty of the devotees also of Srila Prabhupada. And they're helping also so much in the book distribution. So Srila Prabhupada not only created immense, like there was a dark ages, Middle Ages in Europe. But after Mahaprabhu came, then the Renaissance came. It means everything became light. Instead of darkness, light came. And in the same way also, when Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj went to the West, suddenly light came and love. Because the people want love. Yeah? And if you cannot find love in the spiritual way, you will find it in the material way. By enjoying each other. But he changed really all this, the whole Western world was a great cantering when he came. So we are very much indebted to him that he came and saved us. And not only that, but also the further generations. Not only to and still now, if you Google on the internet or anywhere, you find his teachings, which are very beautiful. And not only that, but everything which he wrote. So many volumes and volumes of books. And he was stressing on that that you should do the book distribution, and the books had to come out very quickly. He put the pressure on his devotees, that they had to very quickly. I think Srimad Shichati and Charitamrita, it was, I think in 2 months, was ready, all the volumes. So this is, 2 months. In 2 months, 17 volumes. And that is a lot. So, but he said, you have to get it out. And then after that, the printing had to be done. And not only the printing, but also the distribution had to be done. So in this way, he accomplished so many things in maybe 11 years only. Only 11 years before he left this planet. So it is really, really much a great thing. Yeah? So we are indebted to such a Mahabhagavat that Krishna sent him here, and that he was very merciful and very kind, very sweet. So for that reason, by his sweetness and kindness, it's still going on here. So I'll stop here because Maharaj is here. Hare Krishna, Vancha Kalpaturi Krishna.
Girim Yat Kripa Tamaham Bande Shri Gurun Dinataranam Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin iti namani Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarane Gurvagyam Shirashi Dharyam Shaktiyavesha Swarupane Hare Krishneti Mantrena Paschatya Prachya Tarane Vishvacharya Prabharjaya Divya Karunya Murtaye Shri Bhagavata Madhurya Gita Jnana Pradayane Gaura Shri Rupa Siddhanta Saraswati Nishevane Radha Krishna Padam Bhoja Bringaya Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswaminiti Namane Namo Vishnu Padaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Iti Namane Namo Vishnu Padaya Acharya Singha Rupane Shri Srimad Bhakti Pragyan Keshava Iti Namane Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Iti Namane Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha Namo Mahabhajanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gaura Tishe Namaha Nityanandam Namastubhyam Prema Ananda Pradayane Kalo Kalmashanashaya Janava Pataye Namaha Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanshana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Brindai Tulsi Debai Priyai Keshavasya Cha Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavachai Namo Nama Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bolo. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. First of all, I'm offering my unlimited Dandavat pranams and my Shraddha Pushpanjali at the lotus feet of my most worshipable, beloved Gurudev, Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Asto Tarasata Sri Srila A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada. On his divine transcendental disappearance day, Tirubhav Mahamahotsav Titi, I offer my millions of Dandavat pranams at his divine lotus feet. Then I'm also offering my Dandavat pranams and Shraddha Pushpanjali at the lotus feet of my most beloved, worshipable Siksha Gurudevs, Nitya Leela Pravishta Om Vishnupad Paramahansa, Ashtatarasata Sri Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswami Maharaj, and Nitya Leela Pravishta Om Vishnupad Paramahansa, Ashtotarasata Sri Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. I offer my Dandavat pranams at the lotus feet of all of my Sri Sri Rupanuga Guru Varga. And I offer my Dandavat pranams to all the Vaishnavas and to all the Vaishnavis. So this transcendental day of the Tirubhav of this divine great personality, His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada, it is a very great day of remembrance. Actually, of any Vaishnavas throughout the world, on this day there are more and millions of personality Vaishnavas who are remembering him and glorifying him more than any other personalities of our disciplic succession. Why? Why is that so? Because he came to the Western world. Of course, there were some attempts during the time of Srila Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. Preachers went to England, a little bit to Germany also. Disciples of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati like Srila Bhakti Hriday Bon Maharaj, Bhakti Saranga Goswami Maharaj. And they tried their best, but nothing could actually be established. They brought back a couple of German devotees who actually took initiation from Prabhupada. They were the first Westerners to come into this Gaudiya Vaishnava line. But they could not establish a mission. That was not possible. So, although Srila Prabhupada wanted, in fact, I was told, I can't remember from where I heard it, but very authoritative source in our Guru Varga. Maybe Srila Gurudev told this. But he said that actually, Srila Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he wanted himself to go for his final 10 years to the West. Himself. And of course, it did not take place. But who did he send to the West? He sent a very divine personality who descended into this world specifically for doing this mission. In the year 1896, he took his birth in Calcutta in a Vaishnava family. And from his childhood, he showed the symptoms of great attraction to worship Krishna. Even in his childhood, he wanted to do Jagannath Rath Yatra, which was not being done on a large scale in Calcutta. And he wanted so much that his parents, they had to arrange it. And they built a small Jagannath cart, and the deities of Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra, Sudarshan Chakra, they were placed on the cart. And this young boy, who is named Abhay Charan De, he became the leader of that group, and he began to do kirtan, and the young children, they pulled the cart. And it was a very auspicious and joyful day for everyone who watched this. So, I'm just telling a little bit of the initial history of this personality, Abhay Charan, how he met his Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Now, as he was growing up in his childhood in his household of his father, Gaur Mohan De, every day his father would invite for noontime prasadam any sadhus. Didn't matter what sect, this, that, practically speaking, any sadhus, he would invite them to come and to take prasadam. So while Abhay Charan was growing up, he saw many, many different sadhus, and many of them he was not at all impressed. But nevertheless, Gaur Mohan De, he would ask all the sadhus, please bless my son. I want that he should become a great devotee of Srimati Radharani. That was his request to all the sadhus. And I'm sure there were some actual pure sadhus who also came from time to time. So, later on, of course, that became the fact. It materialized. So, now jumping forward, during the time of the Gandhi movement in India, almost all of the educated youth were following Gandhi to drive out the British from India. And that movement was going on in full swing. And I believe it was the year 1922, if I'm not mistaken, that this person, Abhay Charan, was approached by his very good intimate friend from his growing up and his university and all. And he said, oh, there is a very, very, very amazing, powerful, pure sadhu who is giving lectures at this location, a rented place in Calcutta. Forget the address. Rented place, he was giving lectures. You must come. Let us go. We will go and we will see him. And then Abhay Charan, he told, no, I've seen so many sadhus. I'm not interested to go. And then his friend impressed upon him, no. He is not like any of the others that you have seen. You must come. So he practically forced him to come there. And when he came, along with his friend, and maybe there was one other university friend as well, then, when they entered into the room, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was sitting there in a very wonderful manner. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was speaking with a group of people in that room. So when Abhay Charan Prabhu entered into the room with his friends and they made their obeisances, their pranams, then immediately Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati turned his attention to them. Immediately. Whatever he was speaking about, whatever discussion was going on, he immediately switched and he told to these young men, "You are all educated young men. You should preach this mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to the whole English-speaking world." So now Abhay Charan, when he heard that, he was quite amazed that he would make such a statement. But he raised an objection. He raised an objection to his guru-to-be. And he posed his doubt. He said, actually, you're suggesting that we should preach this message of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I agree with that should be done. But who will listen to us? Who will take us seriously and listen to us? We are a dependent nation for hundreds of years under the rule of other world powers. We are not even in an independent nation. So who will listen to us? So naturally, from their viewpoint, because they were in the Gandhi movement, they were thinking, we must first of all become independent, and then. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, I tell you one thing, I really wish that they had tape recorders at that time, because what he told must have been so amazing. But we know, in brief, that he immediately countered that doubt. And he expressed that this mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, it is not dependent on any external situation of this material world, be it political, economic, social, anything. This movement is not dependent upon that. This movement is a transcendental movement of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and it will be preached everywhere. When Abhay Charan heard this, he was so impressed. He didn't raise any further doubt. He began to think in the depth of his heart, I have met the perfect personality who can actually make this happen. And he began thinking in his heart, what incredibly saintly person that I have met. He kept thinking. After that meeting, his friend asked him, so, what did you think? What's your impression? You've met this sadhu? He says, yes, you are correct. This is the right person. This is the personality who can take this mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to the whole world. So in this way, that was his first meeting. There were some delays in their connection, but he told, my Guru Maharaj told that I could not stop thinking about him as the years went by. And he was involved. He was only about 25 years old at that time, I think. He was married. He had a couple of young children. And he began to think, if only I was not married, then I could become part of that mission. He began to think like that. At any rate, he became very successful. He was in Prayag. He started a pharmaceutical business there in Prayag, and it became very successful. And then one day, a group of sadhus came to visit his pharmacy. And that group of sadhus, they were from Gaudiya Math. At that time, there was only one Gaudiya Math. And he respectfully greeted them and heard from them, and also offered a donation to them, and they stayed for some time there in Prayag. And I think they established also a preaching center there at that time. And in this way, he got the association of these personalities. One thing that I understand is one of those personalities was Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj, also Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj. At that time they came. Even they had not taken sannyas yet. So now, as the time went by, he had been reading the Srimad Bhagavatam. Abhay Charan had been reading the Srimad Bhagavatam. And he came upon one shloka, which is spoken by Sri Krishna himself. And in that shloka, Sri Krishna is telling, Yasyaham anugrinami harishye tad dhanam shanai. To that person who I want to give my full anugraha, my complete mercy. What do? I harishye tad dhanam shanai. I take away all his wealth. And in that condition, he becomes, in the eyes of his family members, an incapable person. And then they start to look at him as being useless, and then gradually they reject him. That's what the shloka is telling. And then, in that condition, then he takes full shelter of my lotus feet. So this was the theme of the life of this personality, because although when he read that shloka when he was young, it frightened him. It actually frightened him when he read that shloka. Because why? Because his whole objective was, in his astrological chart when he was born, it was shown there that he would become one of the wealthiest men in India. Yeah. And so he was thinking to himself, well, this is the way that I'll serve Krishna. I'll make these huge amounts of money, and then through that I will serve. But Krishna had a different plan. First he had to become a pauper. And then the real service would begin, you see. So anyway, as the years went by, he received initiation from Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati in Radha Kunda. At that time they were doing the Braj Mandala Parikrama, and I believe it was 1932. So he received initiation, Diksha, from him at that time, and Srila Prabhupada gave him the name Abhay Charanaravinda Das. Slight change of his name. And then, as the final days of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati came close, it became obvious to all the disciples that now he is preparing to leave the world. Then, prior to his disappearance, about 1 month before his disappearance, Abhay Charanaravinda Prabhu, he wrote a letter to his Guru Maharaj. And in this letter, he expressed to him that, my dear Guru Maharaj, you have so many very qualified disciples, many of them brahmacharis, sannyasis, and they are doing so much service for you, but I am only a householder, and I cannot do so much service to your lotus feet. So, please tell me, what service can I do for you that will be pleasing to you? And then, a fortnight before Prabhupada left this world, his response letter came. And in that response letter, he expressed the same instruction that he gave when they first met. He said that if you ever get money, you should print books. You should print books and distribute these transcendental books. And you should preach in the English language this mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to the whole world. And that was his final instruction. So that was 1936 when Prabhupada departed. Then 46, 56, for the next almost 20 years, he made the effort. 30 years? Wait. 46, 56. Well, yeah, till 66. But he left home in the 50s. He left home. At any rate, he made the effort to fulfill that instruction by doing what? By beginning to write articles in the English language and to publish them, to print a little magazine. And he named the magazine Back to Godhead. And on the cover was a picture of Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati with a pen in his hand, and you've seen that picture before, and he's writing. So, in this way, Abhay Charanaravinda Prabhu went from one condition to another, and each of the 3 different times periods in his life where he was very, very successful, but gradually each one of them failed. And now he's in the 3rd one. Now he's in Calcutta. And in Calcutta, he purchased 2 houses side by side. Double 2-story houses. And in one house his family lived. And in the other house, on the ground level, he had his pharmaceutical shop. But on the upper level, he reserved that for traveling sadhus. One of those personalities who used to come there from Navadvip, where his mat was Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswami Maharaj. And especially in the last 11 years before Abhay Charanaravinda Prabhu went to the West, then Srila Sridhar Maharaj used to come, and they had many, many conversations, very deep discussions, sannyas and everything. So, but during this time, his whole business was failing. His whole business was failing, and he was not able to make very much money. And because of this, as Krishna told in the verse, his family members began to look at him as being useless. And then one day his wife actually took his Srimad Bhagavatam and sold it so that she could get money to purchase tea. So Srila Prabhupada let her know, it's tea or me. That was right near the end. So Srila Prabhupada, Abhay Charanaravinda Prabhu, who had been given actually later on, around that same time, he had been given the title Bhaktivedanta by the Society of the Vaishnavas, very advanced Vaishnavas. They had given him that title. Why? Because he wrote so many wonderful articles for their magazines, printed and published. Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Maharaj's magazine also. So now, one evening when Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj was visiting there, I could speak for a long time about their relationship and all that, but we don't have time. But when he was visiting, then in the middle of the night, Abhay Charan Prabhu, he had a dream. And in the dream, and this was not the first time he had this dream, in his early life, he also had this dream that Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was coming and holding a danda and saying, you must take sannyas, you must take sannyas. And at that time, he just felt fear. But now it has come to the point in his life where now this dream has come again. And so he came to the room of Srila Sridhar Maharaj and woke him. in the middle of the night. And he told him, Prabhupada has come to me in a dream and he has told me to take sannyas. And they sat, they discussed everything. Srila Sridhar Maharaj trying to give him very good, sagacious advice, what he should do. And Srila Sridhar Maharaj suggested to him that, okay, wait for some time and then let's see how things develop, Then a few days later, the same dream came again. Then he came to Srila Sridhar Maharaj's room, again informed him, and they talked for a while. And then the next morning, he was gone. He left his home. He didn't take anything with him. And now his Vanaprastha life started in earnest. So there's many details. Eventually he came to Mathura. And eventually he rented a room on the bank of the Yamuna near Vishram Ghat. And one of the brahmacharis from Keshavji Gaudiya Math, at that time Keshavji Gaudiya Math was not even the full building. They just had one room, the temple room. Then they had two other rooms for sleeping rooms. And then they had the kitchen and the toilet area. That was all they had. Anyway, so Srila Narayan Maharaj was there, and one brahmachari came back because they used to fetch water there and bring water to the temple. So one brahmachari returned and he informed him, when I was there, I saw a disciple of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati who is now staying there. So he immediately, Srila Narayan Maharaj took him and another brahmachari, and they went and they found his room where he was renting the room. This is coming from the lips of our Gurudev himself, telling this story. And then when they came there, he saw, Prabhu, Abhay Charanaravinda Prabhu, what are you doing here? Renting a room here? No, I am renting. I don't want to disturb. No. You are like our father. You must come and live with us in the mutt. No, I don't want to disturb. Then he just instructed the brahmacharis, collect all of his things and now bring him to the mutt. So in this way, Abhay Charanaravinda Prabhu, he began to live there in Keshavji Gaudiya Math. And Srila Narayan Maharaj tells us what kind of time period that was. How auspicious, how full of love and affection between them, how their relationship became closer and closer. And he considered that this personality, he is his Siksha Guru. He accepted him as Siksha Guru. Also, he was sometimes lecturing in their temple in English language, like this. And of course, he had already been printing and publishing this magazine for a number of years, the English Back to Godhead magazine. So now he's living in this condition in the mutt. And now Srila Narayan Maharaj starts to tell him, Prabhu, you have been given this mission by your Guru Maharaj, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, that you should preach this mission to the whole world in English language. But how you will do this? Unless you take sannyas, you cannot do this. You must take sannyas. And again, he's putting pressure. You must take sannyas. Then, Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Maharaj came for a visit to the mutt. And when he came, Srila Narayan Maharaj told him, your godbrother is here. And Guru Maharaj, please try to convince him that he must take sannyas. So then there was a conversation one day, and in that room was Srila Narayan Maharaj, his Guru Maharaj Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Maharaj, Abhay Charanaravinda Prabhu, and one a very senior disciple of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, who was he was like 92 or 95 years old. His name was Sanatan Prabhu. And he had been a businessman throughout his life, and now he had left everything, joined the mutt, So in that way, Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Maharaj began to tell him that, you have been given this mission by our Guru Maharaj to give this message to the whole world. You cannot do it unless you take sannyas. You must take sannyas. Otherwise you cannot do it. So in that conversation, gradually, Abhay Charanaravinda Prabhu became somewhat convinced. But then he told, okay, I will take sannyas. If Sanatan Prabhu also takes sannyas. Now, I've heard the story both ways. Either Sanatan Prabhu told, I will take sannyas if he takes sannyas, or he told like that. So I don't know which one actually took place. I can't remember. So the day came. Which day was it? Vishwarup Mahotsav day. 59. Okay, 58, 59. 58? Okay. On that day, that auspicious day, Srila Narayan Maharaj was actually acting as the priest to do the yajna. Srila Narayan Maharaj also arranged his sannyas vesh and his danda to be made and all of this. He showed him how to wear the danda, everything. Then on that day, Srila Bhaktivedanta, I'm getting the names mixed. Abhay Charanaravinda Prabhu became Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj. Actually, he didn't give the name, the A.C., but Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj became his sannyas name. And later on, for his preaching mission, he decided that he would put the initials A.C. there. I remember Gurudev used to say, why he took these initials like this? But it was he understood that in the future, there will also be persons who will take that name. So I am designating AC. That's the reason why. And it's true. That's already happened. So now, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, he moved gradually over some time. He moved to Vrindavan, no longer living there in Mathura. And first he went to one place called Vamshi Gopal temple in Vrindavan, not far from the Yamuna. But then gradually, I believe it was 1960, 61, around that time, that he moved to the Radha Damodar temple, where you can see his 2 rooms, his kitchen and his living space there, that he rented from the temple at that time. And that's where the incredible yajna began. He began to translate the Grantha Raj of all Granthas, Srimad Bhagavatam, in the English language and write the purports to the Srimad Bhagavatam based upon all the commentaries of all of our Rupanuga Acharyas. And how did he do it? Very difficult. Just on a clunky little typewriter. It took him 3 years to complete this task because he had a very definite plan that he is going to the West. He is going to go to the West and preach this mission. So, he completed the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam from 1962 to 1965. He translated the first canto in 3 volumes. And then even getting it printed was such an ordeal. How he would get this printed So then somehow he found out that the Indian government had some reserve paper that they were giving for certain, I don't know, religious causes like that. They would allow that to be utilized. Very rough kind of paper. So he got that paper from the government, and then he found the printer in Delhi, where he would bring all of his original there to the printer, and then the printer began to turn it into printed papers and to bind it and make the volumes of Srimad Bhagavatam. So in this way, this incredible, and it was not easy. During the summertime, in the hottest weather of the summer, he's sitting there and typing on his typewriter. I heard one from Srila Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Maharaj that also he used to stay at, forget the name of the Gaudiya Mutt. There was a Gaudiya Mutt in Delhi. And he used to stay there when he would go to Delhi to do the printing. And one day, in very, very severe hot weather in the summer, he was going to go to the printers. He was going to go to a wealthy person's shop. And the Vaishnava who was in charge of that temple, one sannyasi, forget his name, he told him, what are you doing? To go out in this kind of weather and risk your health? No. Why are you going? No, I must go. Because there is one person who is going to offer a donation, and I need to have this money so I can print my Srimad Bhagavatam. Then that Vaishnava said to him, Maharaj, I will give you that money. You please stay here. So he gave to him. In this way, with great difficulty, he completed the Srimad Bhagavatam. But now came the real task. How to get to the West. How to get there. And he was always preaching. But when he was in Bombay, named Bombay at that time, then there was one lady who took a very great liking to his preaching. And her name was Sumati Morarji. And she was the owner of a steamship navigation company that was going all over the world, right? And a freighter ship, not passenger ship, freighter ship. And he requested her, you please give me passage on that ship. I want to go to America. So then she tried to convince him, you are very old. This is not how you will do there, what you will do. No, I must go. So finally she relented and she gave passage on that ship. And the date was set. The day after Baladev Purnima. In 1965. Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj boarded the Jaladuta. Now why the word Jaladuta? Because Duta means messenger. Jala means on the water. The messenger who's coming on the water to the Western world to give the greatest message that has ever been preached before. Jaladuta. Not only that, when he started his first temple in New York City, it used to be a shop that sold different items, like a gift shop. And still on the window of that shop was the name of the shop, even though they had closed down and now the shop was rented and they turned it into the first temple. But what was the name of that shop? Matchless Gifts. Do you know what that means? Matchless gifts. It means gifts that are so valuable, so utterly, inconceivably valuable that nothing else can match them. And this gift that A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj was bringing to the Western world, the gift of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. What gift is that? Anarpita chirim chirat karunayavatirna kalo samarpaitum unatojvala rasam swabhakti shriyam hari purata sundara dyuti kadamba sandipita sada hridaya kandare spuratuva Sachinandana. That which has not been given for billions of years from the previous kalpa of Brahma. Now, the son of Mother Sachi, who is the combined incarnation of Sri Krishna and Srimati Radharani as Gauranga Mahaprabhu, now he has come to give the greatest and the rarest gift that can ever be given, and ever has been given, and ever will be given. So that name of the first shop was very appropriate, Matchless Gifts. So in this way, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj went to the West. And I want to just squeeze in at this point, because when I speak all of this history, there's so many details that are in my mind and heart that I want to express, but I have to just push ahead. But one thing I want to do is I want to read the prayer that he wrote on the Jaladuta about 2 weeks before they arrived in the Boston Harbor in America. And so, what happened on the Jaladuta? Well, as they left from Calcutta, and then they went all the way down around the southern tip of India. Then they came into the Arabian Sea. And at that time, there was a tremendous storm going on for a number of days. And huge, gigantic waves, very, very big, huge waves. And the ship was tossing and turning, and he had a heart attack on that ship. And that heart attack lasted nearly actually it was 2 heart attacks. One, and then a few days later, another. And then in his diary, because we have his Jaladuta diary actually, he kept a diary on the ship. And on those days where he was experiencing this tremendous difficulty, heart attack, then he just made a line through that page. It went on for about six pages, 6 days. And then finally he wrote in his handwriting, have just now passed through very, very great difficulty and test. But my supreme friend, Lord Krishna, has saved me. And later on he told that he had a vision that in front of this big, huge ship, Jaladuta, was a boat, like a rowboat. And in that boat was Krishna's 10 avatars, 10 incarnations, and Krishna sitting there at the head himself. And that was, the whole ship was tied to that small boat. And in this way, Krishna told to him, Abai, don't be fearful, don't be fearful. So he had that vision. Now on the boat, gradually they came through the Suez Canal into the Mediterranean Sea and then gradually into the Atlantic Ocean. And that Atlantic Ocean crossing, it took a few weeks. But the captain told to Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj that I have never seen in my whole life. I've crossed the Atlantic Ocean many, many times, and I've never seen such a calm ocean with barely any big waves at all. So he understood Krishna has arranged this to save his life. Otherwise he would have left the world. So on that boat, he wanted to express his prayer to the lotus feet of Krishna. And this is his actual prayer that he wrote. It'll only take, I'm going quickly. He wrote it in Bengali, and the translation is here also. Krishna taba punya habe bai, e punya koribe jabe, radharani kushi habe, dhruva ati boli tomatai. So the translation is done by ISKCON devotees, but they don't know the real thing that he was expressing here. Because he says, I emphatically say to you, O brothers. But that's not what he was saying. Like plural. O brothers, I emphatically say to you. No. He was talking to Krishna. Krishna, tava punya habe bai. Oh my bai, my brother, Krishna. I am telling you how you can obtain your good fortune. Punya habe bai. E punya kuribe jabi. Radharani kushi habe. When Radharani becomes pleased with you, then you will obtain your good fortune. Dhruva ati boli tomatai. I tell you this very emphatically. So that's the refrain, the first verse. Now he mentions his Guru Maharaj. Shri Siddhanta Saraswati Sachi Sutta Priya Ati Krishna Sevai Jara Tulanai Se Mohant Guru Jagatere Madhe Uru Krishna Bhakti De Tai Tai. Shri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who is very dear to Lord Gauranga, the son of Mother Sachi. He is unparalleled in his service to the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. He is that great saintly spiritual master who bestows intense devotion to Krishna at different places throughout the world. Krishna Bhakti De Tai Tai. 1 second. Tara Icha Balavan Paschatyete Tan Tan Hoy Jate Gaurangera Nam Prithivite Nagaradi Asamudra Nada Nadi Sakale Loy Krishna Nam. By his strong desire, by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati's strong desire, Icha Balavan, very powerful desire, the holy name of Lord Gauranga, it will spread throughout all the countries of the Western world, in all the cities, the towns and villages on the earth, from all the oceans, the seas, the rivers and streams. Everyone will chant the holy name of Krishna. Tahale Ananda Hoy, Tabe Hoy Digvijay Chaitanyare Kripa Atishai, Maya Dushta Jar Duki Jagate Sabai Sukhi, Vaishnave Itcha Purna Hoy. As the vast mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu conquers all directions, what will happen? A flood of transcendental ecstasy will certainly cover the land. And when all the sinful, miserable living entities become happy, then the Vaishnava's desire is fulfilled. Se karja je koribare agya jadi dila more jogya nahi an din hin. Tai se tomar kripa magite che anurupa aji numi sabara praveen. Although my Guru Maharaj has ordered me to accomplish this mission, I am not worthy or fit to do it. I am very fallen and insignificant. Therefore, O Lord, now I am begging for your mercy so that I may become worthy. For you are the wisest and you are the most experienced of all. Tomar se shakti pele guru sevai vastu mile jivan sartak jadi hoy. Se seva paile tahole sukhi hole tabasanga bhagyate miloy. If you bestow your power, then by serving the spiritual master, one attains the absolute truth and one's life becomes successful. If that service is obtained, then one becomes happy and he gets your association due to good fortune. Now he quotes the verse from Prahlad Maharaj, Srimad Bhagavatam 7th Canto 9th Chapter 28th verse. Evam janam nipatitam prabhavahi kupe kama bikama manuya prapatan prasangat kritvat masat surarsina bhagavan grihita soham katam nufishrije tavabritya sevam. My dear Lord, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, because of my association with material desires, one after another, I was gradually falling into a blind well full of snakes, following the general populace. But your servant Narada Muni kindly accepted me as his disciple, and he instructed me how to achieve this transcendental position. Therefore, my first duty is to serve him. How could I leave his service? Tumi mor chira sati bulia mayar lati kai achi janma janmantare aji puna e sujog jadi hoy jogga jog tabe pari tuhe milibare. O Lord Krishna, you are my eternal companion, and forgetting you, I have suffered the kicks of Maya birth after birth, and if today the chance to meet you occurs again, then I will surely be able to rejoin you. Tomar milane bai abar se sukkapai gocharane guri din bor katabane chuta chuti bane kai lutaputi se din kabe habe mor. O dear friend, in your company I will experience a great joy once again. In the early morning I will wander about the cowherd pastures and fields, running and frolicking in the many forests of Braj. I will roll on the ground in spiritual ecstasy. Oh, when will that day be mine? Our Gurudev has given the purport to this. He says the gopis also do this. Because some persons, they have tried to use this as the praman that Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj is in Sakya Ras, but even Srila Sridhar Maharaj did not agree with that. So now, this is the last verse where he ends this poem. Aji se subidane tomar smarana bela baro asha daki lam tai ami tomar nitya das tai kori eta ash tumi bina anya gati nai. Today, that remembrance of you came to me in a very nice way. And because I have a great longing, I called to you. I am your eternal servant, and therefore I desire your association so much. O Lord Krishna, except for you, there is no other means of success. Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Transcendental Tirubhav Maha Mahotsav Titi, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Shri Shri Rupanuga Guru Varga Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda Ki Jai. Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. So I've given part 1.